And it always starts that crack at the beginning, like just smack it, and then the twisting together, of those antlers. So I was like kind of picking up and trying to learn on that.
And a lot of it's what I've observed. Like it's nothing that I've had personal success with doing. I've never rattled in a buck, but if you're trying to call in a mature buck, you don't want to be a little spindly, little tickling horns because he doesn't really care. If you want a big fight, you need to sound like a big deer. So it's like a smash together. You might lock one way, the other way, and then pause. Let it sit, and then hit them back the other way. And then smack them again, come back together again. It's fun, honestly, just to play with it.
Yeah.
And see what works. And obviously, if you catch the buck in the right mood, like your buck was, as soon as you touch them together, if he's feeling it, he's coming.
But you and I were there, and we kind of said something to each other in a tree. We're like, man, this feels really bucky right now. Like
right now is when they'd be cruising.
And it wasn't like 20 seconds later, all of a sudden, this young 8-point comes running in like he's being chased. And I was like, there's nobody up there that spooked him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was what you were thinking. That I was like, why in the world is he running? Like he's not running like he's chasing a doe, which is what I was thinking in my mind. I was like, what's this dude doing? And you were thinking he got run off by somebody.
Yeah, and so instantly I was like looking back, and I was like, "Well, you." I don't even remember what I said, but you remember it.
Oh yeah, you were like, "That's shooter. I'll shoot that buck."
Yeah.
You just said that to yourself. I was like, "Oh, I got to find him because I was filming the 8-pointer, obviously." Yeah. So then I'm trying to find him, but
yeah. I was like, I'm going to shoot that buck,
and
so. Just a quick side story on that. My goals coming into Iowa, the biggest question that I have been asked from friends and anybody else I talked to about going to Iowa was like, what's your goal? Like, what's your minimum? Like, what's your like antler size, inches sort of deal? And I thought about this a lot going into this trip. And I said, I don't want to have any sort of, I don't want to measure this hunt based off of just strictly inches per se. Yeah. I want something that, one, is a good representation of Iowa, but first and foremost, that I grab the bow without second guessing and say, that's a shooter. Yeah. Because there are plenty of times when I'm like, is he?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'll shoot him. But like I said, what my goal is to stick to. And because you know it, when you see enough deer, especially we've seen so many young bucks, when you see a big mature buck come in, it's like
it's a different presence.
It's a different presence. And I see that buck come in, I see the tall tines, I see the big body, and he's coming in dominant, trying to run that little 8-pointer off. I was like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
And so he comes in, and he's working the same line all these deer do, about 100 yards out in front of us. Yep. And I tried grunting at him, nothing. I snort wheezed at him, nothing. He starts walking back the other way because he ran that buck off. He was heading back to the other timber block where he was going. And you're looking through the camera screen, and you're like, he can't hear you with the wind. And I just grabbed the rattling. I never even took them off the hook. They were still clipped in. And I just banged them as hard as I could together and twisted them for just 5 seconds.
I don't even know if it was that.
And I look, and I'm like, oh, he's coming. Like, he stopped, turned his head, and sprinted at us. And because everyone kept saying about, make sure you have rattling antlers, make sure you have rattling antlers. And I've never had luck with that. But
yeah, and a lot of it's what I've observed. Like, it's nothing that I've had personal success with doing. I've never rattled in a buck, but I've been fortunate enough to be on a lot of hunts where that was, successful. And also observing some knockdown, drag out buck fights. Like, it's not, you want to visualize the cadence, but it's also about what kind of buck you're trying to call in. And I'm not professing to be a whitetail expert by any means. So there's people who know way more on this than me. But if you're trying to call in a mature buck, you don't want to be a little spindly, little tickling horns because he doesn't really care. If you want a big fight, you need to sound like a big deer. Plus, when it's windy, you want the sound to travel. Like, it's got to be able to get to him. But also, it's like the cadence of a buck fight, especially a knockdown, drag-out fight, they hit horns, but it's not a constant rattle. They're sitting there, like, the amount of strength and pressure that they're torquing on each other is crazy. And they'll spend 30 seconds locked together.
Yeah.
So it's like a smash together. You might lock one way, the other way, and then pause. let it sit, and then hit them back the other way. And then smack them again, come back together again. And it's like you watch them fight, on TV or different stuff like that. Like they'll come apart, they'll stand, they'll posture again, and they'll smash again. And it's kind of it's fun, honestly, just to play with it.
Yeah.
And see what works. And obviously, if you catch the buck in the right mood, like your buck was, as soon as you touch them together, if he's feeling it, he's coming.
He comes running. I'm like, Thomas, he's coming. And you're like, where is he? Because from where you were at, even though you're just in the next trunk of the tree, the visual was completely different.
I had a whole tree in front of me. I couldn't even see him the whole time. Like when you picked up the rattling antlers and you said he was sprinting, I was like, I couldn't see him at all.
Yeah. And he was coming to circle downwind of us.
100%.
And the entire time, so we had the southwest wind that we had, where he was coming, he would have caught our wind prior to getting a shot opportunity. But by the grace of God, we got a shift of westerly wind that hit literally right before that. And he couldn't catch our wind without being in shooting range.
Yep.
And he comes in, he's looking. And the whole time I'm thinking he's going to turn around and leave because he can't see anything. But I think it was just thick enough in there. And we were in a great spot in that tree.
Oh, yeah.
It was a double tree. I don't even know what kind of tree it was, but we were in a good spot where they couldn't see us. And the sun was at our back, like at the back of us. So, like, if he looked up, he's looking right into the sun versus looking at us.
Mm-hmm.
It was perfect. And he's coming, and I see he's coming right down to the lane, like where we would want him to be the optimal spot. And I drew back, and I gave him a meh. But I didn't do a super loud meh because I had some poor experiences recently with alert deer, with moving when the shot happens and stuff. And I don't know, I just got self-conscious about it. I didn't do it, and he's walking, and I'm like, okay, if I hold on his front shoulder at this pace, I should be able to hit perfect. Dumb decision, but stay with me here. I shot, and right away I was like, I hit him in the gut. Like, I hit him way too far back, and I was... I knew immediately that was a dead deer, but that it was going to take a while, and I was so mad about it. But he ran out, and he ran out to about 72-ish yards. I just knew that from the tree he was in front of. I had ranged earlier, and I drew back another arrow and went to shoot him. Felt pretty good about it. I shot, and so the way my sight's set up, the dialed 3-pin on this bow. So I had the new Hoyt AX3 that was just dropped. I had that, and is a little bit faster than the RX9 that I was shooting. So my pins were a little bit different, but it was 25, 42, and the third one was like 56 and a half is what it came out to. And I was like, it's further than that, so I aimed up a little bit. I was like, it's a follow-up shot. I just need to get another arrow in them. And I shot, and I squared up on a branch about 20 yards away from us, and that arrow went flying through the air. And he runs again. I'm like, oh, man, just sick about it, and watching him through the binos. And this is the good part of being able to see, but we watched him bed down right away. He was all hunched up, and I was like, okay, it's gut. And he bedded down right away. And it's like, this is going to be a waiting game here to be able to do it. And I turned to you, and I was like, I was so excited for the encounter, and pretty much knowing that we were going to have a dead buck. But I was so mad at myself for putting a poor shot on him. The deer was going to suffer for a while. And like that, it just made me mad because and the thing was, like, the shot, I was composed when I shot. I just didn't plan the right way as far as, like, I should have did it louder. Louder meant got him to stop. At that distance, 28 yards, the speed of the bow, everything, he wouldn't have dropped enough. I would have put a vital shot on him and would have been fine, but I didn't. So hindsight's 20/20, but nonetheless, I hit him. I hit him back, but he was hurt like real bad, and I thought it was just straight gut, like nothing else. Like it's like we're gonna have to give him 12 hours. Like that's all there is to it. And you could say maybe, and we thought about this of like stocking in to get another shot, but it's like if I bump him and he runs somewhere else, whatever, it was just, there was a lot of risk that was involved with that. And I was like, I think the safe bet is to, let him expire on his own. I don't know, because my fear was like you bump him, then you can't find him, then the coyotes get him or whatever. Yeah. And it goes to waste, and I did not want that. So, but we were able to, keep the visual on there, and you were being able to see him better than I was from your position.
I was able to get on the far side of the tree, swing around, on it, and got super lucky. It had been about 45 minutes since the shot. He actually bedded down twice.
Yeah, he did.
But we were able, because we lost him on the second one. He went further into that bed.
Yeah.
But I caught him walking out on the hillside.
Yeah, you caught him going across that opposite hillside there. And I kept catching blades of grass that looked like his white antlers and thinking like, and I'm like, are you sure it's him? And you're like, oh yeah, like I'm certain. Yeah. I can see his big tines and his body going through there, and he's just moving super slow, just going through. And, at that point, then I was having trouble seeing him from the tree where he went to. So I actually climbed down on the ground and got a visual on him. And it was probably 2 hours after the shot that I saw him all of a sudden get up from where trying to get up from where he's bedded. He just rolled over and started kicking and rolling down the hill. And I was like, what? Like, I was like, that doesn't happen from a straight gut shot. Like that like I must have hit something else. And still, we thought he went down there, but the grass and everything, there's still places he could escape. So we just sat there and just stared, and then ended up eating kind of a sandwich and being patient with it. And then went in, and he was stone cold dead right there.
Yeah.
And I ended up squaring the liver, which is what was the main driver on how he died quicker than I expected. But
we had a hunch that you were close enough, because I thought it was like back of rib cage. So I was like, there's a pretty good chance that you caught liver, and that's our best bet. But it's we were both on both sides, a little bit of both sides of the spectrum. I was like, I would, kind of want to be aggressive and potentially get another shot on him. But
yeah,
I think we made the right play, and you were wiser in the fact of just being like, we just need to play it safe and try to make him comfortable and not try to run him off. We're in a different state. We don't have a lot of contacts here. We don't know where he's going to go.
Yeah.
Blood trail's not great on a gut shot anyway.
Yep.
That whole deal. Yeah.
Yeah. And who knows? I mean, maybe we could have stalked in on him and put it out right away. I really don't know. I mean, there's a lot of not knowing when it comes to those situations, and they suck, but it worked out better than I expected it was going to, where he died quicker than we originally expected. And man, it was just like a whirlwind of emotions at that point that it actually happened. And it was like all these years of waiting for this Iowa tag, and there he was. And I felt like that was a beautiful representation. Mature buck, big white antlers, big 8-point, and just he's got tall tines. He's heavy, somewhat narrow. Just it was a bully of a buck.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this conversation, share it with your buddies. Leave us a rating, a review, and subscribe. If you want to check out more content like this, there's plenty in the links below. We truly appreciate having you guys along with us.